All right, guys, it's 12:05, so I'm going to get started. Hi, everybody. Super happy to have you here. I'm Nicole Lim. I'm the president of SUMANI. SUMANI is obviously the acronym for SUMA Net Impact. To the new students joining us today, welcome to the SUMA program. We're really excited to have you here, even if it's virtually. The board and I always say, like, when we're in our planning phase, in the past, we're thinking about what food to cater, which room to get, what wine to order. And now we're like, oh man, we just need to set up a Zoom link. But hopefully one day soon, we can all meet in person and have a good powwow. But Zoom is still great. To the familiar faces I see and the familiar names I see, that are joining us today. I really miss you guys. I hope that we can also meet in person very soon. But let's get started with a little bit about SUMANI. So here's our mission, but before I get into that, a little bit about SUMANI, just in case you didn't join us during orientation. So SUMANI is a very specialized chapter, an academic chapter of Net Impact. Net Impact is our parent association, and we do purely sustainability related projects. Within Net Impact, they have academic chapters, professional chapters, and they do a lot of social entrepreneurship, nonprofit management, but we solely focus on sustainability related projects. Net Impact really is an international nonprofit, mostly in North America, but there's a Nairobi office, a Hong Kong office, so we have connections there as well. And they're basically a nonprofit that offers pro bono consulting to solve pressing social and environmental issues around the world. And here at SUMANI, obviously our main focus is to mold you guys into top tier consultants. We have events and workshops throughout the semester to ensure that happens. And obviously our main goal is to transform organizations, AKA our diverse client base, to become social and environmental stewards. SUMANI, like other clubs, obviously provides events, social gatherings, workshops, all that good stuff. But what you will get out of your SUMANI experience that is slightly different or very different from the other clubs is that you get real hands-on experience. You're working with real clients on real sustainability issues. You get to form strong relationships, and some of our members even go on to getting jobs. And yeah, super exciting. If you didn't join us during orientation, one thing I really want to highlight is that we are allies of the BIPOC community. This semester in particular, the board and I really sat down to, evaluate how we're doing as a club and how we select clients, because that's really how, we kind of show our efforts in that category. So we made sure we have 6 clients. We made sure to select 3 for-profit, 3 nonprofit. And these companies that we selected this year really kind of abide by our ethos, abide by our DEI criteria, and you would really truly have a net impact, pun intended, doing it, and you're not doing work for work's sake or just for name's sake. So that's what's really exciting about this year. Again, my name is Nicole Lim. I'm the president of SUMANI. I come from a clean tech background. I've worked a lot in the solar industry. I recently, before coming to Columbia, I was at Tesla, where I was a service manager for the Brooklyn and Northeast headquarters. And yeah, so we do have an energy client this year. So for those in that group, I'm very much here to support you guys. Please take down my uni. If you have any questions, happy to support you. Rose, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Rose. I'm the vice president of SUMANI. My background is kind of all over the place, so I won't get into that. But I started in SUMANI last fall when I was a first semester student. I was a project manager for a plastic-free grocery store in Brooklyn. I had an awesome experience. I thought it was so fun to be on a team. It was so fun to work with peers who were skilled in all different things that I was not skilled in. Thought that was a really interesting experience and one that I think will really prepare me for a career in consulting one day. And then after that, I was the director of projects last semester. I thought that was a really fun role. It was a little bit less time commitment, honestly, than being on a project team. And we have one of those roles open right now. So I wanted to take a minute to highlight that and encourage everyone who is a new student to apply, because it is a role that isn't a terribly long time commitment. And it's a great way to get your hands on the projects and, work with 3 clients and work on your communication skills. Yes, that's it about me. If you guys need anything, you can always reach out to me about anything at all.
All right, Hannah, our Director of Operations.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Hannah, the Director of Ops. I also started my SUMANI career last fall as a first semester SUMA student. I worked with a client called VDE, and we were researching alternative packaging materials. It was a great experience and something outside of my area of expertise. I come from a water management background, so it was completely new and a great way to, move into a different area because I didn't have any consulting experience, so it was a great opportunity. Like I said, my area is water management, and I'm currently working with the New York City Public Housing Authority. So I have a good amount of experience in the built environment and environmental justice. So if anybody ever needs any help with that area, you can always come to me. I'm more than happy to help. When I first started on SUMANI, my job looked a little different. I would have been getting you all the food, booking the rooms. Then COVID hit, so a lot of my job kind of disappeared. But I may be getting you some gifts, and I'll be organizing the Zoom. So I won't be interacting with you as much as the director of projects or Nicole, but I'm always here if you need anything. And welcome. Look forward to working with you guys. Anna?
Hello, everyone. I'm the Director of Projects. My name is Anna. I recently started with Net Impact in this board position, but I participated in the spring in one of the projects. We worked for a nonprofit organization that worked in food security and sustainable agriculture in Mozambique. I had a wonderful experience, and so that was part of my inspiration to join the board, to be able to provide the same opportunities that I was given when I was in one of the projects. I come from a geology background, but also a consulting background, and I have been trying to do a career change and focus on renewable energy and finance. Right now, I'm working for a nonprofit organization that works in sustainability initiatives, but mainly in renewable energy projects. So hopefully I will be able to personally help you with that. My job will be to set you up for success. I really want you to have a great experience. I want to be a resource for you, but I also want to be able to give you and provide everything that you need. So whether that is connections, people that know more about the subjects that you're going to be dealing with, that's what I'm here for. And feel free to reach out.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, these ladies on the right of my screen here are amazing. They have been really, really pivotal and great at helping me kind of transform SUMANI into the entity that it has become today, and obviously super great at helping us transition to online platforms due to the pandemic. But yeah, they're truly my right-hand women. Take a screenshot of the slide, write down our unis. We're here to support you throughout your SUMANI journey, no matter what. All right. As Rose said earlier on, we are looking for one more director of projects. Like she said, it is not a terribly long time commitment. Hannah, if you don't mind putting the link to the application in the chat box for me, thank you. The link provides the full job description, but essentially what you'll be doing and what you'll gain out of it is that you'll be the primary liaison between the client and the team, and you'll predominantly be speaking to the project manager of the team. And your job is to really just make sure that communication is a plus. People are on track with their deliverables, making sure that, they're kind of keeping on pace and strategizing well, to, be on time for the calls with their clients or midterm and final. What you'll really gain out of this, which Rose can definitely attest to it, is you'll learn that Columbia Net Impact has resources that you never knew. You can leverage so many centers, so many institutions, faculty, alumni. You'll be really getting to know the network on a very in-depth basis. So that's really cool. So yeah, the application form is not hard. Definitely click to apply. Hannah, you put it in the chat, right? I can't see because I'm on full screen. Okay, cool.
Yes, it's in there.
Sweet. All right, just wanted to go through some goals that we have and what the members will be getting out of our club experience. So obviously, like I said before, we want to mold skill and top-tier consultants. If you already have consulting experience, we want to help you refine it and really try to hone in on your skills in the industry that you want to be in. This semester, you know, we have certain industries. We have energy, built environment, fashion, food and beverage, consumer goods, all that good stuff. I'll go into it later on. Oh, we have education as well. So really kind of going into the sectors that you're interested in and that you're passionate about to hone your consulting skills. And in doing that, obviously upholding justice and equity in everything that you do. As I mentioned before, you'll be joining an amazing network of industry experts and alumni within the Net Impact community. Many academic chapters, many professional chapters. In fact, a lot of our alums of Net Impact go on to professional chapters outside of their day jobs because they really just enjoy their experience so much and just do pro bono consulting on the side. So we're really happy about that. And obviously, the goal is to make the client happy. We need to have strong, tangible deliverables. So that's also our main goal. So a little bit of how SUMANI operates and how the teams will look like. So after this recruitment event, you will be receiving the application link. Hannah, if you want to put that in the chat already, please go ahead. I'll review that a little bit later on as well. But you'll be receiving the application link now and also via email. You have 1 week to apply. The deadline is September 19th at midnight. Super easy form. Plug in your top 3 preferences. Give a little blurb and spiel as to what your consulting experience is, why you think you're the best fit for that client and project deliverable, and give us your latest resume as well. From then on, after September 19th, the board will come together and try our very hardest to, if not put you in your top choice, one of your top 3. And then we'll give you team assignments on September 21st. You'll be put into teams of 4 to 6, maximum per each client project is 6 people. So yeah, you received the announcement on September 21st. In the application, I should add, you can disclose if you want to be the project manager of your team. So I highly recommend that if you want to gain project management experience, this is a super great opportunity because it's a real world sustainability issue with a real client. So it's the best opportunity. Like I said, each team will have 1 project manager and you will also have 1 director of projects. Your director of projects will be your go-to resource for everything and anything, any help that you need, anything that you feel maybe that you need to purchase for the deliverable. He or she is your go-to person. And like I said, you not only have the Columbia network, but you have the Net Impact network. Rarely will you find yourself lacking a resource, which is why this experience is really great. You kind of get to learn where to dabble in terms of resource finding. All right, guys, the moment
Nicole,
we've all been waiting for. Oh, yeah?
sorry to interrupt. Is there a chance that if we apply for any of these positions, not positions, but the membership portion, we don't get selected, or is it just a mere application to place us with specific clients?
Good question. So depending on the applicant pool, yes, we might actually have to turn down some people. We have 6 clients, maximum 6 people per team, depending on how many people apply this year. So if it's more than 36, unfortunately, we have to be declining some folks, but within the 36 people, hypothetically, if 36 people apply, we'll try our super hardest to place you into your top 3.
Got it, thank you.
Your question. Gotcha.
That does.
All right, guys. Sweet. All right, these are your 6 clients this semester. We're super, super excited. And I'll go through one individually, starting with the Eastside Community Network. So the Eastside Community Network is headed by an absolute legend. Her name is Donna Givens. She has done many, many, many seminars with Columbia. Recently, she did one in the summer. And she's also, the one in the summer was about environmental injustice and EJ initiatives in the east side of Detroit, in which this community is based in. She's also done lectures with Professor Sarah Nicolau for the Earth Institute practicum on innovative leadership. I've heard her speak and she's amazing. And she recently got married. So yes, the east side of Detroit is a low income area that is home to a large BIPOC community. And unfortunately, they do suffer from quite a few social and environmental concerns. Some of them being aging stormwater infrastructure, abandonment in brownfields, high concentrations of industrial uses and lack of waste management, unimproved homes. Unfortunately, the list does go on. But Eastside Community Network has been around for give or take about 30 years, and they've been really, really pivotal in uplifting and developing the community. And their whole ethos is kind of like sustainable neighborhood growth. Their work is divided into 5 kind of development categories, as you see in the What We Do section. But to kind of give you a high level overview of what SUMANI will be doing specifically, you'll be tackling and focusing on how to improve the conditions in the built environment and how to remedy the energy related issues in the community. So 2 focus areas. As there are many, many areas, we wanted to kind of make it lean and make this project scope a little bit more narrow so that we can tackle it in 4 months, because unfortunately we only have a semester. So your exact deliverables for the Eastside Community Network, you'll be developing a detailed roadmap as to how to improve the conditions of the built environment, not only an improvement plan, but you'll also be developing a maintenance plan for the commercial and residential infrastructure. And if landscaping and public amenities are part of your plan, how to maintain that as well. This includes funding, policy, all that good stuff. Another part of your deliverable is a comprehensive strategy as to how to improve the energy related issues, with the goal and aim to transition the entire community to renewables and to be somewhat energy sovereign. Whether that is possible, we'll leave it up to you guys to determine that. In addition, you'll be doing a plan for a green job hub. Unemployment is an issue, especially in this COVID climate. It's definitely exacerbated the situation. So we want to return jobs back into the community, and you'll have to kind of understand the social and cultural context of how the community operates to develop this plan, and develop some KPIs as to how to track progress. So that is the deliverables for the Eastside Community Network. Sorry, I forgot to mention, if you have any questions, write them down. I'll answer it at the end of the chat, and the rest of the board can also help me with that as well. All right, Gunas, super exciting. So Gunas is a luxury and ethical vegan lifestyle brand founded by the amazing Sungad Agarwal. Her designs are awesome. I highly recommend checking out the website. And if not, her designs have been featured in Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Forbes. I don't know if you guys watch Sweet Magnolia or the Netflix version of the series of Unfortunate Events, but her designs are actually used in by the cast as well, so that's super cool. Yeah, and it's her designs are advertised all over Instagram and other major media platforms, and it's awesome. Highly recommend checking it out. In 2018, Gunas was actually named one of the best independent handbag brands in North America. And it was actually named by Macy's before they went bankrupt. And that's predominantly actually where they sold their products. Obviously, we know Macy's is bankrupt now. So online sales have soared. And that's kind of the premise of this project. Because online sales have kind of skyrocketed, they want to kind of beef up their online presence and really highlight the fact that this is a vegan, sustainable, and ethical brand. So on that note, the team that is assigned to Gunas will actually be doing a life cycle assessment. We call it here the LCA. There's a course by Christoph this semester. To those who have taken it, I think all of us can say that it's a really invaluable skill that we'll have for the rest of our careers and lives. To those who haven't taken it, take it. It's great. It's a lot of hard work, but a skill that will kind of transform the way you think. And if not, you gain experience here. So essentially, you're going to be comparing the life cycle assessment of a normal leather handbag to a Gunas vegan leather handbag, and kind of comparing the environmental impacts of both. In your deliverable, you'll be producing obviously an Excel sheet with all the math and all your findings and a report. In addition to the LCA, you're going to be developing really awesome marketing materials, infographics for the website, and their social media channels as well. So what you'll get out of this is a lot of design stuff, which in the sustainability field, I have come to find is actually very useful. Presentation, infographics are invaluable in our industry to communicate sustainability related issues. So that is Gunas. On a very similar deliverable style, I move on to Hella Cocktail. I'm so excited about this project, guys. Hella Cocktail is a mixology company. I personally do like a drink or two. And they have really, really awesome mixers. They have margaritas, Bloody Marys, their peach bellinis are really, really good. And these are mixers, they're non-alcoholic. They also have bitters like chili and orange that you can kind of infuse into your old fashions or really any drink. But the product that we will be focusing on for this particular LCA is what you see here, the bitters and soda. I believe the blue line I see underneath is the zero sugar one. There's one with sugar. As to which one you pick or whether you do both, I'll leave that up to the team to decide with Tobin and Ellie, who is in charge of the project on the client side. They are actually, this is a completely sustainability minded company. And like Gunas, they want to kind of beef up their online presence and social media presence to relay their sustainability efforts. So like Gunas, you will also be doing a life cycle assessment, an LCA, comparing a normal similar product. Their competitors will be along the lines of Schweppes, LaCroix, that. And comparing it to Hella Cocktails Bitter and Soda. Similarly to Gunas, you will also be developing marketing material, infographics, as well as a one-pager to investors and customers without any jargon, so to speak, so that people without LCA knowledge or even sustainability knowledge will be able to decipher what's going on. So those are the deliverables for Gunas and Hella Cocktail. I want to emphasize that the life cycle assessments are cradle to grave. So you're looking from literally the birth of the product. We're talking about ingredient sourcing, how it travels, how it's manufactured, how it's consumed, retailed, all the way to its disposal phase. So it's a cradle to grave. All right. To our one international client for this semester, ING. You'll be working with Rado. He's based in Amsterdam. So to our European friends, that's a good thing for you guys because you guys will be in the same time zone. But yes, so ING is based in Amsterdam. They are actually really keen on mapping out the largest nature-related risk and opportunity in the corporate lending space. So this is their wholesale banking side. And essentially, they want to become more aware of financial risk, of land degradation, biodiversity loss, deforestation, climate change, et cetera, et cetera. And they're also kind of looking to better understand the exposure to sectors dependent on ecosystem services. So that's kind of the project scope of ING. What your exact deliverable for ING will be is to beef up their ESG side. And what I mean by that specifically is you're going to be creating the entire ING's client biodiversity assessment. Now, this assessment is going to supplement their current due diligence process for the environmental and social risk policy. So essentially, this client assessment, along with the other assessment for environmental and social risk policy, would be done for client onboarding, client assessment as to whether they will get any loans, mortgages, and lending from ING. So yes, it is a sector-specific due diligence process where basically you have to think about how an environmental risk analyst will kind of like assess on a multi-tier level how, you know, biodiversity loss is associated with a company's operation. This is the deliverable for ING. All right. Verimoto, you will be working with a Columbia alum and Tamer Center extraordinaire, Donna Sanders. There's two Donnas. This one is Donna Gibbons for Eastside Community Network and Donna Sanders for Verimoto. So super excited to have her as our client this year. Highly suggest also checking out their website, verimoto.com. Essentially, it's a user interface where you plug in your electric bill and it's free and non-committal, by the way. And it basically analyzes your electric bill, produces like an energy analysis and utility bill audit, and also the user interface monitors month by month what's going on, tracks it. On top of that, and this is actually how they make money because they are a public benefit company, they pair their subscribers up with clean energy providers and they make a profit out of a percentage of that. So right now, this user interface is geared to, you know, single apartment, single household clients on that level, but they've kind of reamped the user interface to now be marketed to the big guys, the property management companies, the property technology companies. I call them prop tech for short. New York in particular, by 2030, I believe, has some really aggressive and progressive energy requirements. Local law 33, 97, 84, something about from buildings lowering carbon emissions by a significant amount. This user interface has a building assessment directly addressing those local laws for multi-unit commercial and residential buildings. It's awesome. So your project deliverable for Verimoto for the two customer segments, property management companies and prop tech companies for each. You'll be first identifying the top 50 companies for both. More instructions will be given on later by Donna. But in addition to that, you're going to be developing a business and marketing plan for a pilot for both property management companies and prop tech companies. So that is the deliverable for Verimoto. And last but not least, We Act for Environmental Justice, headed by the one and only Peggy Shepard. I honestly have a major girl crush on her. She's amazing. I highly suggest you watch her interviews and read up on what she has done and how she's actually got to WeAct. Her story is amazing, and she does a lot with Columbia as well. But essentially, WeAct is a large social environmental justice nonprofit based, they're actually our neighbor, based in West Harlem. Their ethos, where are my notes? Their ethos is to basically ensure that people of color and low-income residents participate meaningfully in the creation of a sound and fair environmental health and protection policies and practices. This nonprofit is super well respected. They're really active participants of the environmental justice movement on a national level. They've actually been called to advise on environmental policies on a state and federal level. And I believe they, because of this, they actually have a location in Washington, DC. So super well-respected EJ nonprofit. But that being said, what is your exact deliverable for WeAct? You're going to be creating a business and marketing plan for a very, very, very special curriculum. It is called the Environmental Health and Justice Leadership Training Program. The acronym is the EHJLT. This program actually is very popular in SIPA, very popular in the Teachers College, but not just on a college level. This program has been used by K-12, young adults, even community members who are just interested in making a difference. There's a wide variety of audiences here, and the curriculum is tailored to each audience. Ironically, they've actually been providing this service mostly for free, and they've realized that this is actually very valuable, and some dollar signs can be brought into the nonprofit. So the deliverable is to make this profitable for WeAct. You're going to be developing a price list based on a criteria for each curriculum audience. So what would the price be like, for a certain audience size? How would it look like for this will definitely be an online training program as we see it in the future. So take note of that as well. But you're also going to be developing branding, a marketing plan, business plan, to take into account the adult and youth curriculum. So that is your project deliverable for WeAct. All right. Oh, and I should mention a little more about the training program. What this training program does is, it's an advocacy training program. They're training you about how to set up community organizations, campaigns for environmental health and justice movements and initiatives. And obviously, that will look very different for the different audiences. So that's what the training program has set out to do. All right, guys, I've spoken for a very long time. I'm happy to take any questions, and Hannah, Rose, and Anna, please help me as well. Any questions?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Hi, my name is Micaela, and I'm a first semester SUMA student. I had two questions. The first one is, if you are, I come from a political risk consulting background, but I'm interested to diving in other sorts of consulting. And I was wondering, I'm taking LCA this semester. Would you recommend already having the skill if you apply to one of the projects, which one of the deliverables is to have an LCA report?
No, I think it's actually really great to do this project while you're in the LCA class. While you're in the LCA class, you actually get access to a number of databases that you only have access to for a short period of time. So actually being in the class, having access to the professor and to the TAs and all of that is definitely considered an asset. So if you're in the class, that's good enough.
Okay, and then a second question. if you apply for, when is the director of projects position due? And if you apply to that position, can you also be in one of the teams consulting, or how does it work?
So the director of projects application is due Sunday night at midnight. And so you can't be the director of projects and be on a team, but you can apply for both, and we will interview you one way or the other and decide which is the better fit.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Wait, Nicole, did I get that right? Is it Sunday night or Saturday night?
September 13th at midnight.
Is it a Saturday?
So that is Sunday. No, you're right. Sunday.
Okay, well, I was right. Cool.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And you said when we're applying for projects, we can pick up to 3 that we choose?
Yes.
Your top 3 preferences. Obviously, we'll try to put you in your top 1.
Great, thank you.
Any questions?
I have a quick question. Sorry, I missed the beginning because I was on another meeting. But just so I can get an understanding of kind of like the time commitment for these projects, I'm sure you covered it already, but what should I be expecting or anticipating? This is also like my first semester as a SUMA student, so I'm trying to manage everything.
Yeah, totally. So I would say that the time commitment to be on a project team is about 3 hours per week. If you want to be considered for a project manager, I would add an hour or 2 extra per week to consider like the communication with the client and also just the organizing for the rest of the team. It does require a little bit of extra work. So I'd say it's anywhere between 3 and 5 hours per week. But I think 3 is more, it's going to be closer to 3.
Right. Any questions? Did it answer any?
Hi, I'm Mia. I know you talked about, so you'll take 36 students, I believe it was. How many applications do you usually get? Do most people get put on projects, or is it pretty selective?
So most
people get put on projects.
Yeah, most people get put on projects. This year is a little bit different because we opened our application up to more programs. So usually it's just open to SUMA students. But this year we've opened it up to ESP, to Climate and Society, to a number of programs. So it is going to be a little bit more competitive this year.
Okay, got it. And then I'm just looking at the application. I see that you put your first 3. What if it's not one of those first 3? Do you kind of rank after that, or how does that work?
The whole goal is that the board will try our extreme hardest to put you, if not in your first, either your second or third choice. In the unlikely event that we do have to kind of see if you would consider others, that's when we will contact you personally. I don't think we've ever had to do that though. Well, we're usually pretty good in trying to put you in your top 3.
Thank you.
Any questions? I wish I could see all of you guys. This full screen situation is hard to toggle. All right.
Sorry, I had one more question. Are all the projects remote, or will there be any in-person meetings?
That's a good question. They are remote. They are all remote projects. The project for Detroit, there is the potential that we will fly that team out to Detroit because it is about community engagement and community development, and we think it's important to meet the community. WeAct is literally our neighbor, so there is a chance that you will be able to engage with the people at WeAct directly. Hella is in Long Island City, Gunas is New York City. So I think it's going to be both, but the option is there to remain remote all the time if you have any kind of like health or safety concern.
And we will not be flying people to Amsterdam, unfortunately. I wish we had the budget, but we don't. Yes, predominantly remote. We understand and encourage international people. I'm international myself. I'm from Malaysia and Singapore. To definitely join, the experience. It'll be honestly an invaluable experience you'll get here in your SUMA time. So that's why we will encourage having a remote session. However, if your entire group is in New York or is in a certain place where you guys can meet in person and get to know each other and work on the deliverable together, why not? Obviously be safe and all that good stuff. But yes, as Rose mentioned, we are definitely considering, and we will talk to the team of the Eastside Community Network if they are willing and want to go to Detroit. I will have a full disclosure that it won't be a full sponsorship, rather than we will subsidize. So we will basically provide you some stipends to go, and instructions as to, how to get there and all that good stuff. But it's not going to be like a full vacation to Detroit, if you know what I mean. All right.
I have one more question about the director of project role as well. So would you be working with one or two projects? Like, how does that work? Like, how many projects each director takes? And if you already know which position is going to take which, and the time commitment of that versus being a team member?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we can give you a little bit more insight into that. So in the past, we would do like 4 or 5 projects, and we'd have one person as the director of projects. This semester, we tackled some bigger projects. We have 6, which is a bit more than we're used to, so we're taking on 2. So each director of projects will be in charge of communicating between 3 projects and 3 clients. So it's 3 and 3, and we assign who takes which based on specific skills. So for example, Anna is our newest director of projects, and she comes from like a geology, energy background. So we already know that she is going to take Virimoto and the Eastside Community Network, because those are specifically projects that match her skill set. We haven't decided yet which is going to be the 3rd project that she takes, because we don't know what the specific skills of the other person that we take is going to be. So just as like a quick fun fact, hint, clue, I would look at those other 4 projects and see, if you're looking to apply for the director of projects, see how your skills would be able to benefit those 4 teams, or 2 out of 4 of those teams. If not everybody knows everything. Yeah, that would be my advice.
And on that note, for the directors of projects, we actually do want somebody new. Me, Rose, Anna, and Hannah, we're actually all in our 3rd semester. I'm personally graduating in the fall, and my crown and torch will be handed on to Rose after that. So we want somebody that will, continue with us into the spring, and that's not graduating, preferably. And somebody that, in a weird way, like maybe does not have net impact experience just yet, to bring kind of like a fresh, fresh ideas, brand new set of eyes into how we see things. Yeah, we want new people. All right. Okay, if there's no more questions, I will start wrapping things up. And if you, later on in the day, over the weekend, come up with questions, feel free to email us, myself, Rose, Hannah, or Anna. Feel free to email any one of us, or our general email as well. All right. So to just give you a timeline of how things are going to play out this semester, right now, we're in full-blown recruitment. Like I said, you have the application link, you'll have a reminder, and the link will be sent via email again next week. You have until September 19th at midnight to disclose which are your top 3 preferences, update your resume and send it in, all that good stuff. You will know your team assignments by September 21st. And then we will have our kickoff event. Again, usually we provide a whole bunch of sandwiches like guac that can probably fill me up to my head and a lot of wine. But this year it has to be virtual, unfortunately. But it's basically a kickoff event where you get to meet your team and you get to see who else is on which other teams, and you get to see the entire membership together and see, you know, how you guys can strategize and communicate and honestly make connections throughout the semester. Yeah. The following week is our skill building week. You will have a consulting 101 workshop, a mind mapping workshop to kind of strategize or help you strategize and develop your game plan for the semester. There's also a project management workshop, and we're going to have a really fun Instagram live event as well on October 2nd. So stay tuned for emails about that as well. Throughout October and November, you'll be having what I call your more intimate workshops. And what I mean by that is that your team will have a one-on-one session with industry experts, with working practitioners in the field to actually advise you and kind of discuss your ideas and try to overcome obstacles. You know, you get professional advice to make sure that, you know, the work is done to the client's liking and all that good stuff. We'll have some fun events. We'll have a panel. We'll have kind of what we call social co-working, where we kind of get on Zoom and kind of like tell each other ideas, see what connections we can leverage from each other. And obviously it's more of a social event and kind of, you know, have a drink on a Thursday night, kind of wind down the week. And what we're really excited is our Sumo White Day of Giving Back, a philanthropic day where we'll partner with an organization and see what we can do to give back to our community. Right now, tentatively, the midterm is scheduled for November 5th, and the final is scheduled for December 3rd. Depending on how the semester plays out, those dates might change. So be in very close contact with your director of projects. They'll be the ones telling you if the dates are changing, but right now it's tentatively scheduled for those dates. Here's the application link again. Hannah, I can't really see the chat, but if you want to shove the application link back in the chat as well for me, that'd be great. Like I said, September 19th at midnight Eastern time, New York time, that's when the applications are due. If you want to take a screenshot or write this down, that's our general email. I will say out of all these social media platforms, Instagram is definitely the place where we're most active and where we disclose most of our most updated and recent announcements. So definitely follow us there. There's also client highlights. Today, I did give a very high-level overview of the clients and project deliverables. In the highlights section on Instagram, we actually give a more detailed description of not only the deliverables and the company's mission and ethos, but who you'll be working with, so you can kind of put a face to the name. You get to see who Donna is, who Peggy is, who Tobin and Ellie. You'll get to see who you're kind of working with before you see them on Zoom. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for attending, and I'll stick around to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a good Thursday, a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.